I hope y'all are ready for the fastest update that has ever fucking occurred. Oh boy. So that last video that I recorded was on Saturday. Today is now Friday, September 3rd. And I quit. I quit my job and I'm gonna tell you why. Oh my God. So I quit on Wednesday. I will tell you how I quit after I tell you why I fucking quit. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I was in charge of 2 properties. I know I said that. And they hadn't had a manager since mid-June. The other manager left June 17th. So they have had other managers from other properties like filling in here and there when they can. Didn't have any maintenance person for one of my properties. Had a part-time person who did 2 days at my property and 3 days at a different manager's property, like 5 minutes down the street for the other property. There was a lot of disorganization. So when I interviewed with these people, I was originally interviewing for an assistant manager position, which apparently was filled by the time they came to interview me. So they were like, that position has been filled, but we have a community manager position. I know you haven't been a community manager before, but do you think you're ready for more responsibility? And I was like, hell yeah, I'm ready for more responsibility. I'll definitely be a fucking community manager, because I could be that if the place is organized enough to fucking set me up to be able to fucking do that. In the interview, we were very, forthcoming about the fact that I've never been a manager before. They asked me what type of manager I would be looking to report to, and I said, somebody who lays out clear expectations, gives me the tools to succeed so that I know how to do everything, doesn't micromanage me, but is there if I have questions. And they were like, yeah, we have that. That's what we do. We can definitely do that. Because I was like, I've been an assistant manager. I'm ready for more responsibility, but I need to know and be trained on how to do the things that I need to do. And they're like, yeah, obviously. Sorry, I keep wiping my nose. It just runs all the fucking time. I'll wash my hands later. So the trainings that they have me doing, they were webinars, and they basically were just going over like the systems that they use. I had some other classes scheduled for later in September, like towards the end of September, that were for like the law for the city of Portland, because that's where one of the properties is. Which they have very, very, very specific, strict rules for things, and like if you do something wrong, you can get fucking sued and like fined, and just like so much shit that's very risky. That wasn't until the end of September. So I have a month's worth of training scheduled, and they're not like every single day. It's like, okay, well, Monday I have this training, and then Wednesday I have this training, and then I don't even have any more training until next week, and it's just one class. And then the rest of the time I was just on my own, like completely on my own. I was supposed to be assigned a mentor manager. Never got one of those. Oh my God, the properties were so disorganized because of how many people had their hands in everything, and they didn't like communicate to each other very well. So things like were, for example, one of the properties had a stack of work orders that was pending, that was just sitting in the pending work orders box that had been there since June. Nobody had even looked at that. And so I had to go through and contact all those people and be like, hey, has anybody reached out to you about these work orders? Every single person's answer was no. So I had to coordinate a maintenance person to come take care of these fucking things because it was just fucking neglected. I couldn't rely on the availability report to know what's available, because they have, the way that they do stuff is so weird. Like they have two different systems that they use to track prospects, applicants, and residents. One is called Tenant Tech and one is called RealPage. They enter everything into Tenant Tech, and once, and they don't even screen their own people. Like at the other company that I worked for, everything was done through RealPage. They could apply directly online and it would automatically screen them, and we could look at their screening results, and then we get, you know, all their proof of income and everything. The way that they do stuff, they use background investigations. So we would have to get an application, which were paper applications. We could email a link to people so that they could fill out an online application, but it was a very complicated process to be able to get that link to them. So most people just used a paper application, and we had to get their application, their ID, their proof of income, and any other documents that they provide us or needed to provide us before we would even apply them to the apartment in the system. And then we would take their stuff and send it over to background investigations, which then takes another like 3 to 5 days for them to say whether or not they're approved and like what their deposit would be. The city of Portland property didn't have deposits, but the other one that I had deposits. And so like they had applicants that were like working on the fucking on getting approved and everything, but so people would be like, oh, is this apartment available? And I'm like, fucking no, I don't know. It seems like we have people applied to it. There was somebody who was like scheduled to move in, but then the other manager who used to work at that property, but now is like somewhere in Vancouver, she was like, no, this person actually canceled. And so like, it was, see, it's so disorganized that it's hard to even like talk about it in a non-disorganized fucking way. So like I couldn't rely on my availability reports. Also, there were apartments that said that they had already been turned, and then I would go look at them and nothing had been done. Stove was pulled out, missing drip pans and elements. The carpet looks like shit, definitely needs to be replaced. The blinds are all falling on the ground. The doors are taken off and laying on the ground. The fucking toilet tank is like taken apart. Like nothing was ready, but in the system it said it's ready for immediate fucking move in. So I had to coordinate with a maintenance person and be like, hey, what the fuck is going on with this? That like somebody's trying to apply for this. I need to know what the fuck is going on. Oh boy. There was a lady that lived in an apartment that was connected to the office, because it used to be a 2-bedroom, but they sealed off part of the apartment to make it the office. So I could hear her on the other side of the wall. I think I had talked about that. I'm not sure. She had an issue for over a month where her refrigerator wasn't working, and they also found out the outlet that the refrigerator was connected to wasn't working. So they went in and they put a new refrigerator. It wasn't new, they took it from like another apartment, but it was a working refrigerator in her living room. And then you know, they said that they would fix the outlets and everything and then get it moved back, and they just forgot about it, I guess. I don't know, but so she was like constantly putting in, like calling in work orders for this, and she's like distressed because she's like, I got my refrigerator in my living room, the vinyl's all torn up, because there was like holes in the vinyl from where they like dragged the refrigerator, so it was all torn up, so that needed to be like glued back down. There were like 4 outlets in her kitchen and like her kitchen island that weren't working, and she swears up and down this refrigerator's still in her living room. I talked to the maintenance person who's there 2 days a week, and I was like, she's saying that the refrigerator's still in her living room. And he said, no, I took care of that. I took the refrigerator out of the living room and I replaced the refrigerator and everything and put it there, and it works. I'm like, well, then why would she still be saying that? And they just called her crazy. They said that she was nuts in the head, that she was just fucking she was a crazy lady. That's what they said about her. And so she kept calling. So I called her, I said, Miss Karen, do you mind if I come to your apartment and take a look at what's going on? And she was like, yeah, come on over. And so I go back behind the office and go in there. Sure enough, refrigerator in her fucking living room, torn up fucking vinyl, outlets not fucking working. And so I was like, yeah, you're right, you have this has not been taken care of. And she's like going off because, you know, she just feels like she's been neglected and nothing's been taken care of. And so I told her, and she was handing me like pictures that she had taken of all the food that she lost. Like, she had pictures developed. She had a whole fucking stack of them. And I was like, I'm so sorry about this. Let me talk to maintenance and I'll get this taken care of. And she's like, Rachel, that's what they've been telling me. That's what they've been telling me for a month now, is they'll get it taken care of. I'm like, okay, but I am going to get it taken care of for you. Are you going to be home today? Can we get it done today? And she was like, yes. And so I contacted maintenance and I was like, hey, it's legitimately still in her living room. I was just in there. And these outlets don't work and whatever. And so I got him to come over, and he had to glue down the vinyl, and we had to let that sit for 24 hours. He went and fixed all of the fucking outlets. And so then because that was on a Friday, and then the following Monday he went back and moved the refrigerator back to where it was. So like, I was there for a fucking week, and I solved a problem that had been persisting for over a fucking month. Like, it was very easy to fucking do, but like, people just don't take the fucking initiative. They wouldn't let me hire a porter for this property. The properties were so out of control with like trash all over the place, and they were both non-smoking properties, but everybody was fucking smoking, and there were cigarette butts. I went around with like a bucket and a grabber, and I picked up trash each morning that I was there for like an hour and a half, picked up anywhere from 1 to 3 buckets worth of fucking trash. There were sucker sticks, cigarette butts, candy wrappers, beer cans, newspapers, wrapping paper. Like, there was just a lot of just trash all over the fucking place. And so I would go around, get sweaty in the fucking morning doing that. And I asked if I could hire a porter, since we only have this maintenance guy 2 days a week. He's older than fucking dirt, super nice guy, gets stuff done, but very, very slowly. So slowly. And then you want me to be taking care of all of this stuff, which is completely fucking scattered and I haven't fucking been trained for, while also acting as a porter for the fucking property. Like, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. There's kids in the community that are out of fucking control. They all just like play in the parking lot and scream at the top of their fucking lungs, and you can hear it inside all of the apartments or whatever. And I ended up going out there on my next to last day, and because there were these 3 girls, and they were all walking around with blow pops in their fucking mouth. There was like an older one that looked, maybe she was like, I don't know, 11 or 12, and then 2 younger ones that were probably like 8 or 9, and they had blow pops. And then I had already picked up the trash that day, so I walked outside, and the oldest one didn't have her blow pop anymore, and there was a fresh blow pop stick on the fucking ground next to my office. And I was like, hey girls, every single morning I come here, I pick up trash off the ground, a lot of which is sucker sticks. You all 3 had blow pops in your mouth. You don't have one anymore, and there's a new stick right here. Have your parents not taught you about throwing your trash away, and it's not okay to litter? And she's like, sorry. And she picked it up and, you know, went and threw it away and everything. And then the next day, okay, so maybe it wasn't the day right before, it was Monday that I did that. And then Tuesday there was no sticks on the ground at all. And then later they were like outside again, like on a car, which they said was their parents, but I never verified that. And they were screaming at the top of their lungs. So I walked outside, I was like, hey girls, I don't care if you play, but you cannot scream, because there are people in their apartments that are trying to sleep, even though it's the daytime, that are trying to work from home, that are trying to just enjoy the peace and quiet. And you're screaming, so stop screaming. Like, I apparently am the only one who has ever enforced any fucking rules on that property at all. It was so fucking out of control. So I was trying to learn how to get all the files and stuff together, and the thing that made me quit, that I was like, no, this is the last fucking straw. So, you know, I'm on my own. I don't have a mentor manager. The other manager who has my part-time guy at her property for 3 out of the 5 days of the week, she is the only one who was helpful to me at all. But they had her so scattered. She was taking care of her property, my property, well, and then I was there, so she's not taking care of my property more, but then 3 other properties that apparently are short-staffed or something. And so she's like spread so fucking thin trying to do all these things, and you can tell that she's got too much going on. And she was like giving me stuff that she had done for me that was very well organized, and she was like apologizing to me that it like wasn't organized and all that stuff. I'm like, Victoria, like, you are doing great, okay? This is very helpful, and like, you have a lot on your plate. I completely understand. She hasn't gone on a vacation in years because she can't take time off because she's the only person at her fucking property, and they always stretch her thin. this seems to be a pattern with them. All the other managers that I met, they are trying to take care of like 3 or 4 other properties that aren't theirs because they're like short staffed, and instead of hiring people, they're just putting it all on their managers that have their own properties to fucking deal with. So it's no fucking wonder that everything was so scattered. Oh, the lady that is the floating like manager, she just goes to all the properties and fills in when needed. She had no idea what she was doing. She was basically just in the office, and then like nothing would get done. She didn't know what the fuck she was doing. Additionally, nobody followed the mask mandates. The first time I met my portfolio manager, she didn't even have a mask with her. The maintenance person that she brought over from the other property in Vancouver, he wears his mask below his fucking face, and he and I ended up having a conversation about how he doesn't understand why people are supposed to take the vaccine, because one of his buddies got the vaccine and then he got COVID and had really, really bad symptoms. And I'm like, so if he hadn't got the vaccine and still got COVID, he could have fucking died because it reduces your fucking, the effects and everything. So actually the vaccine did save his life, but like, he thinks that just because he still caught COVID after getting the vaccine, that the vaccine doesn't work. It's like, the point of a vaccine doesn't prevent you from getting something. You can still get it, but your body knows what it's looking for and can defend against it. And okay, this is taking a different turn, but yeah, so I had like a conversation with him about that. They have a corporate guy that comes down and does maintenance as well. He was wearing his mask. Well, sometimes he would wear his mask properly, and then other times he would just completely have it off. The floating manager, she had this like really thin piece of fabric just around her fucking neck that she would like pull up every now and then. And the second she would pull it up, it would immediately fall back down. And it was so thin that you could see through it to her face. It might as well have been lace. That was not protecting fucking anybody. The manager from Vancouver, who used to work at my property, was coming over to try to like help me and everything, and I had my mask on and she didn't have a mask on. She was like, you don't have to wear a mask, I'm vaccinated. I'm like, I'm vaccinated too, but like I still want to wear a mask. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like the manager that was at the property 5 minutes away from me, who I share the maintenance guy with, she is the only person who followed the mask mandate. She had her mask on every single fucking time I spoke to her. Like, I don't know what her face looks like because she wore the mask fucking properly. And that poor woman is being stretched so fucking thin. So, we have this little make ready sheet where we write down the move outs and, you know, schedule the painting, the carpet, the cleaning, like everything that needs to be fucking done so that we can get it ready for a move in. We have somebody who was supposed to be moving out at the end of August, and then they emailed and said that they needed to move their move out date to the 7th of September. We already had stuff scheduled for the make ready starting like on September 1st. And I had training that whole entire day. So what I did was forward that to the manager from Vancouver, who said that she was gonna handle the make ready board and everything for me until I was ready to fucking take it over. I emailed her, I said, hey, I'm in training all day today. I cannot take care of this. Can you please do this? And she said, I would contact the resident. I was like, that's all she said. I would contact the resident. Does that mean that you are going to contact the resident? Does that mean that I need to contact the resident? Are you not understanding what the fuck I'm saying to you? And I was like, what the hell? And then another resident, their refrigerator was broken. This is at the separate property from the one with the other refrigerator. And we had some appliance people come out to look at it, to fix it. And they said to fix it, it would cost $800, but it's less expensive than that to buy a new fridge. So we just needed to buy a new fridge. I don't have any buying power yet. They haven't added me to that. I don't know where the fuck to get a fridge from. I don't know what kind of refrigerators we fucking use. So again, I emailed this manager and I said, hey, again, I'm in training all day. This person needs a new refrigerator. I don't have buying power. I don't know what kind of fridges we use. Can you please order a fridge for them? And she just said, just call Lowe's and order it. I'm not an approved buyer. I cannot fucking do that. And so I sent my portfolio manager an email saying, it was like titled Some Concerns. And I listed out all of these things that I needed help with, I needed clarification on, because that manager that had, about the fridge and the make-ready board, she said that I was supposed to be doing everything, that I'm supposed to be running the show. After a week. Like, I can do basic property things. Like, I've been in property management for about 6 years. I know how properties are supposed to run, but there are other things that you guys require, the law requires, and that community managers are responsible for, none of which you have fucking prepared me for at all. There has been no training about that. I haven't had a mentor manager, anybody talking to me. It's hard as fuck to get a hold of anybody when I have a problem, so I have to just like try to do stuff myself and hope I don't make a goddamn mistake. So I sent her an email with all these concerns. One of the concerns being that one of the buildings at one of the properties, the controlled access door didn't have a lock. Like, somebody had busted the lock off. And so I was like, I don't have maintenance. I don't know who is on emergency maintenance. I don't know who to call for this, but this door doesn't have a lock. And she responded back to me and she confirmed, yes, I am supposed to be running the fucking show. And said that that lock got fixed last week. I'm like, okay, this was Monday that I went into all the buildings because I was delivering notices about parking. And there was no lock on it. This was Monday. So if it got fixed last week, it's broken again. Like, I'm telling you that it is broken. Because, oh my God, the parking situation at this property, they have 77 units and they have a parking space that's like assigned to each unit. It's a very, very small community. There's not a lot of parking. There are 7 visitor spaces, only 7 visitor spaces. Somebody had messed up the parking log. And so we don't know who has what parking spot and which ones we can fucking assign and like who all these cars belong to, because there was one resident who has like 4 or 5 extra cars and they were parking them all in the visitor spaces, just leaving them there. So I made a little vehicle update thing in Excel and printed a little thing out that said, I know that the parking has been a little bit out of control. I need you to fill this out with the vehicle information for all the vehicles that belong to you. Any vehicles that are not reported to the office are subject to tow, so that we can like get this under control. I was planning on like putting a permit system in place so that we could get all those cars out of there. So I delivered all those notices to the buildings, and that's where I discovered that lock was fucking missing. Like, I was doing things. I wasn't just like sitting there like, oh, what do I do? Like, I was making shit happen. And so my portfolio manager, after she emailed me back and she was like answering some questions or whatever, she was like, how about we meet tomorrow at 1 p.m. at your other property so we can discuss these things. And I was like, okay, sick. And after I got out of training that day, I had a headache and I was a little bit nauseous. So I ended up going home an hour and a half early, and like, I was just so fucking flustered by everything, just so upset. I'm just like, how on earth am I expected to be running the fucking show after a week when you haven't given me any information on what is expected of me and how to do things? And like, that's fucking ridiculous. And so I was like, I'm quitting. I don't care. I'm just fucking quitting. And so what I did was, on Wednesday morning, I took Odin to his daycare, dropped him off at like 7:20, got to the property at 7:45. Was it 7:45? Yeah, whatever. So like, nobody else is there because I got there early. Went inside, wrote an email to my manager saying, this is not working. And I told her exactly why it wasn't working, the people not following the mask mandate, it being too scattered, and all of these other things that I just previously fucking talked about. And I left my keys for the other property on the desk in that, in the other property. My petty cash card, the uniforms that they had given me that I had never fucking worn, papers that I had that needed to go to the other property. I sent that email. I put the other keys for that property in the lockbox outside so that they could get in and get all of my stuff. And I just fucking dipped. I was like, it's not fucking working. So, and I have enough savings so that I can go for about a month or two. I could go longer than 2 months, but I don't want to go longer than 2 months. I would prefer it to be 1 month. Because I need to find a job that suits me. I don't want to be in property management anymore. I don't want to be in any sort of customer service, customer facing job. I've done more than 10 years of customer service. I fucking hate it. It is fucking draining. Now that I know more about myself and why I fucking hate people, you know, I'm ready to just be like, no, I'm not gonna work in any sort of customer facing job. If you mistreat me, I'm fucking gone. Like, I don't need this. The world is fucking in shambles right now. We're in a second or third, whatever, wave. There's more variants of this fucking pandemic. People are so fucking stupid that they just won't wear masks or get a goddamn vaccine to end this madness. They're just complaining about their fucking rights. Texas just banned abortions at fucking 6 weeks, which most women don't even know that they're pregnant until then or later. And people can sue, any random person can fucking sue somebody who performs an abortion, or is suspected to have performed an abortion, for $10,000 each fucking person. Just random fucking people. There's a website where you can report it. Hurricane Ida just hit and destroyed a bunch of shit. New York is fucking flooded. There's fucking fires everywhere. Like, we are in the fucking end times, and I don't care about going to work anymore. I don't give a fuck. Like, in the meantime, I've signed up for a dog walking service. I'll probably do like DoorDash or something just to kind of, you know, get some extra income. Maybe I'll end up just doing gig work for like, for my job, and never going back to this fucking corporate bullshit, facing customers, having to sacrifice my own fucking mental health to fucking make money so that I can fucking survive. Like, no, that's not how that's gonna fucking work. Oh my God, I am, and there's aliens. There's all this shit about aliens. You guys, the world is fucking crazy right now. Why do we give a fuck about going to work? I can't fucking do it. I can't pretend like I care. I just fucking can't. I will walk your fucking dog and make sure that they are happy, and I will deliver your fucking food to you through DoorDash. But I am not gonna go sit in a fucking office or work at a restaurant and pretend to give a shit about any of this when the world is just in shit. And nobody's doing anything about it. Like, myself and people like myself, I feel like I'm going fucking crazy, because it's like, there are obvious, clear solutions to what's going on, and people just won't. They just won't. They're yelling about their fucking individual rights. And just, holy fucking shit. The world is madness right now. So yeah, I quit my job after a week and a fucking half, and now I'm just doing whatever I want. I want to get some, they have like hair wax that's colored, so you can like, so it's not like permanent or anything. And I want to put like purple or pink or something in my hair, because I fucking can right now, because I'm not doing anything corporate related. Oh, this feels like back when I used to drive Lyft full time. That was 6 or 7 years ago. I think it was 7 years ago or something. I was driving Lyft full fucking time, just making my own schedule, able to do whatever I wanted when I wanted, and pay my bills and stuff. Now Lyft is too fucking saturated, and my car is too old. I don't want to subject it to that. But like, I don't want to do anything. I'm fucking sick of it. It would be so wonderful if I could somehow like go viral on TikTok or something, and then have enough followers to where I was getting money from that and I didn't have to fucking do anything. But I don't care enough to do anything right now. Just walk some fucking dogs. Ugh. yeah, so there's my update. I don't know what anything is anymore. So later,